The Belgium failed to reach the knockout phase for only the second time in their last 8 appearances at the World Cup. Canada had already been eliminated. Morocco and Croatia will find out their opponents tonight when Group E concludes. Spain, Costa Rica, Japan and Germany all have a chance to qualify. Well, the second half was livelier, that's for sure. I felt for Lukaku, actually. It just didn't fall for him in the right way, but he had opportunity after opportunity.
Yeah, he's only played 31 minutes since August, Gary, so clearly nowhere near fit, and that showed. It can't all be put down to him, their elimination. They can only look at themselves and blame themselves because Belgium have been miles off from where they were 4 years ago to where they are now. They didn't do enough and they didn't deserve to go through. We said it half time, it's very difficult to flick that switch to just say, OK, we're going to up the tempo. Yeah. They tried. They created a few chances in that second half and it was much better from their point of view. But too little, too late. Yeah. They're out.
The fans, well, they're cheering their players. The players naturally are distraught. A word on Croatia, Micah, though. So they're through. Yeah. They'll be happy, you know.
Yeah, and I said before the game, I was intrigued to see how that midfield battle would go. De Bruyne talked about Belgium's squad being too old, but Modric today was exceptional again. Yeah. He controlled the tempo of the game, defended when he needed to, and bursted forward when he got opportunity as well. And it's a great result for them. And yeah, it was a pleasure to watch them play today.
Did you have, as a fellow striker, a bit of sympathy for Romelu Lukaku? I suppose we've all had those days.
Yeah.
Well, Alan has. Alan definitely.
we all did, but we cannot put the blame on someone who's been injured for almost the past 2 months, and he comes in for 30 minutes, and you want him to win the game. Yeah. I mean, as a striker, he maybe should have been a bit more on his toes, but it's very difficult to blame him for this.
I mean, it's going to hurt him, that, Alan, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it will hurt him. But I said it, he's only played 31 minutes since August. Yeah. He clearly was nowhere near ready. Otherwise, they would have brought him on a lot earlier. They might have even started him. So they were only going to put him on if they were in a desperate situation, which they were. They improved when he came on. At least they then had a focal point. At least they could start and put balls into the box. They had a little pace down on either side, and that sort of helped them and changed them. But yeah, his lack of game time is
yeah, we're going to go through his We're going to go through his chances one by one, mainly because there's not a lot else in the match, was there? Really, but this one hit the post, didn't it? Inside of the post, and you start to think maybe straight away.
Yeah, but he was in a good position, obviously, to make a tactical change at half time, and he did make a difference. De Bruyne started getting in little pockets, Carrasco getting in there as well. And he just looked a bit rusty, if we're being totally honest. There were players in front of him, so he had to go round them a little bit. But, yeah, well, Lukaku's quality, he expected him to...
What did you do there, Didier?
I think it's difficult because there's the defender in front of you, plus the goalkeeper, and this is his right foot. And the way his body is towards the goal, I mean, it's very difficult for him to turn, twist, and then score that goal. Yeah. I think this one is difficult.
Yeah. He had a header that just went over the bar that was probably the most glaring miss, but we do feel the ball went out, and it was given out in the end. Well, it would have been given out in the end, I should say.
Comes down his left-hand side. It's a wonderful ball in. Again, he's just not on his toes. He doesn't anticipate it, where the ball's going to drop. Thinks about it a little bit too late. But, you know, we see here.
It's out anyway.
So it wouldn't have mattered anyway.
No.
They've scored 1 goal, Gary, from 34 shots in the 3 games. It's not all down to him. It's not his fault. Look at what happened in other games. Look at what happened in the first half, when clearly they weren't good enough to go through.
Right. Next one, a couple of them actually kind of almost collided with him. You're talking about you need to be on your toes, but sometimes when when you've not played much football as well, you can get a bit heavy-legged.
Yeah, you need a few more games, to find the rhythm. But I think you know, there's situations where I believe if there were a positive team, you know, if the spirit was good, maybe one of these chances will go in.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? The energy, the energy, positive energy
exactly.
you need.
I just wanted to ask you about his body shape there, because he likes receiving the ball and being the big man and holding the ball and laying it off. If he would have turned a little bit, he could have sort of half volleyed it into the net, but because he wanted to receive the ball straight on.
No, you're right. You try and get side on. You always try and get side on.
But what I would say in his defence in that situation is that it's, you know how it's like when you're match fit. If you've not played any football, it's really, really difficult to get in the rhythm of the game. So you are going to be flat-footed.
Next one. It's remarkable, isn't it? In such a short space of time to have so many chances, pretty much around the 6-yard box.
Yeah, I mean, again, it looks as though we're having a dig at him, but we're not. He's just, he's got a striker, he's in them right positions, and he's just come off his chest. We talk about being alert, being alive.
You've got to think the defender's going to miss it.
Yeah, you've got to anticipate that.
I think a player like, this is the kind of goal Inzaghi would score, for example, because he will always be on his toes.
Yeah.
You've got to expect the defender to miss that. You've got to get your body position ready, thinking, hoping that the defender's going to miss that.
Yeah,
I mean, this is a wonderful tackle.
From Vardiol, who looks an exceptionally good defender, doesn't he? Really does.
He played really well,
yeah.
Great tackle, that.
There's Thierry Henry coming on at the end, and obviously Romelu's distraught, understandably so, but lovely stuff from Thierry there.
It's devastating. Obviously, I worked with Thierry.
You would inevitably blame yourself. That's the thing.
You do as well, but it's a team game. You can see him there.
Oh dear. Oh right. Yeah. Well, we can understand. I mean, you don't want to say that, but you can understand it.
The frustration.
Absolute frustration. Absolute frustration.
I think he's frustrated not only because he missed the goal, but because of, again, the spirit of the team during all this tournament.
Yeah.
You know, all the talks, the fights between players.
Yeah.
You know, this is what he's frustrated about more than the goals, I think, that he missed.
Well, Roberto Martinez's contract ends at the end of this World Cup, which is now the end for him. Let's hear from him.
Roberto Martinez, I don't think the team lost it tonight, but seen over 3 games, do you have regrets?
Clearly, the performance today was ourselves. It's not easy to win games in the World Cup, and we won the first game without being ourselves. The second one, we had a deserved defeat because we didn't feel that we were ready. Today we were ready. We created many opportunities, and today there is no regrets. We're out, but we can live with a head held high.
Can we say it's the end of a golden era?
Like Yuri Tillemans, you got players like Amadou Onana, players like Jeremy Doku. The golden generation is doing thing that is bringing the next generation on, and it's not necessary thing that is bringing the next generation on, and it's not necessary what names are on the pitch. The legacy can be left in many ways. Today we out of a big tournament, and now the standards need to carry on rising, and the young players need to carry on this line.
You can say it how you want, but this is not enough for Belgium, an elimination in the group phase.
Clearly, no. We wanted to get through, but I'm sure that there are other national teams that they wanted to get through too, and that's a tournament. You're in the best tournament in the world. In the previous one, we won 3 games in the group phase. We won 3 games in the Euros, and it wasn't enough to go all the way. We wanted to go all the way. We couldn't go out to the group phase. For me, it's the same feeling. If you don't reach till the end, it's trying to fight to get there. But today is a way to lose that you can accept.
One more thing. You want to stay as a coach of the Red Devils?
And now is not the moment.
Yeah, well, he did put up a spade, but he said he can hold their heads up high. But I'm not sure with the fallouts and all that, they probably can they, realistically?
No, they've been really poor. I get what he's trying to say, and I know how difficult it was because he couldn't retire all of those experienced players coming into this World Cup. He had to involve them because of what they've achieved and what they've done for Belgium. So he knows that this was going to be the last tournament for several of them. It was just a tournament too much for them.
So would you have played some of the younger players in this tournament?
Well, clearly he should have. And I mean, he says he's got no regrets. I'm sure he has. But they didn't deserve to go through. I didn't expect them to be brilliant, but I expect them to be better than what they were. But in he had to involve some of those players that have got well over 100 caps. They have to be in charge of their career and when it ends at international level because of what they've done. I just think that this tournament has just gone on that little bit too long for a lot of those experienced players.
But if he wouldn't have started Hazard, say, in the first game, it would have been a bigger story. So it was a catch-22.
I don't think so. I don't think so because Hazard hasn't played for the past, 2, 3
Well,
years?
realistically, 3 years at least.
You know, so...
I think it's easy sometimes. When you've got a manager and you've got to manage these big characters.
Egos, big...
Yeah, sometimes you're thinking, OK...
But you've got to be strong. It's your job.
Yeah, but Hazard's not been awful this tournament. He's not been the Hazard of old. Of course not.
We're not blaming Hazard. You know, that's where Didier Deschamps is really good at.
Yep.
You know, he's bringing new players who never played for a World Cup, and they're starting the game. So he's bringing this competition between... He's saying to the old guys, hey, be careful because... You know, this guy can be there. He can start. Look at Varane. Varane now is in a difficult situation.
You've also got to have players coming through ready to push those players out. I mean, use Wout Farce as an example.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. What I've seen of him in the Premier League
really
for Leicester, he's better than what they've got defensively for Belgium. Yeah. So I don't understand why he hasn't.
Let's switch it to Croatia a minute.
Well,
now I've gone through.
Worked.
So you know they've kind of done it. They've got experienced players, old players, but they brought in people like they've got Perisic and Modric, and you know, but they've got like players like Gvardiol coming through, for example, who look really. Perhaps they've handled that evolution a little bit better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think they've mixed old with the new. And I think that's what Belgium could have done and should have done looking back now. But I think it's easy to say that was excellent. And he's been excellent all tournament. No wonder they've got, you know, array of teams looking at him because the way he comes out of the ball, the way he reads the game, the way he goes into a tackle, that tackle with Lukaku at the death as well.
I know they won their first game, but even in that first game, they didn't play well. And for this game, it was 15 or 20 minutes where we said, OK, we're on the way out here. We've suddenly, all of a sudden, got to get some energy from somewhere. And that occurred. So that tells you there has to be a problem within that squad. And it's been pretty obvious. And it's been pretty obvious what it is.